Hi, this is Graham from Jennings Astro. I've been using the William Optics GT81 telescope for a couple of years now, and I found it to be an excellent telescope. It operates at f5.9, and like most fast refractors like this, it suffers from some field curvature. So most of the time that doesn't matter to me. A lot of the objects that I photograph are relatively small, and I can crop the central part of the frame. But sometimes if you want to look at an object that's captured at the edge of the frame, you begin to see that the stars are not round, they're a little bit elongated, and that's the effect of field curvature. So this is a review of one solution for that, and it's a William Optics GT81 Field Flattener 6A. So this is a flattener that you can purchase and use on three scopes, the Z71, the GT81 and also the GT102. So let's have a look inside the box and see how it performs. So when you look inside the box, you actually get two components. You get the flattener reducer, and you also get a T-ring for a Canon EOS mount. So looking at the flattener itself, it's identified as a flattener and also a focal reducer, 0.8 times. And I say, like all William Optics kit, it has a really solid feel about it. You can see the lens coatings, and it's nicely finished. It's shipped with an adapter attached, so you can see this is an adapter for use with the GT81 and the Canon EOS mount, and basically you attach the flattener to the T-ring like so, and then this is the basic unit that you're going to use and attach to the scope. It weighs about 300 grams, which if we compare to the usual 2-inch photo adapter that I use with the GT81, this is around 180 grams. So substituting this for the flattener reducer, it's really only adding around 100 grams extra to the overall weight of the setup, which is really not very significant. Now, one of the issues with flatteners is often to achieve the right separation between the back of the flattener and the sensor inside the camera. So in the case of the Field Flattener 6A, if you look online, when it's used with the GT81, you have to have it's recommended you have a 64 millimeter gap between the back of the flattener and the chip. Now, it's quite cleverly achieved, so that basically the adapter here adds an additional 20 millimeters between the flange at the bottom of the back of the flattener and that which will be on the camera lens. So you have 20 millimeters extra distance here, and then if you look up the distance between that camera mount and the chip inside Canon EOS, it's another 44 millimeters. So overall you have 20 and the 44 giving you 64 millimeters distance. Now, I bought a set of T-ring spacers anticipating I'd need them, but in fact I found that I haven't needed to add any at all. So with my basic setup, this just clicks onto my camera, and I've been able to achieve good results without having any additional spacer rings. So if we put it all together, take the flattener, attach it to the camera, attach it to the focuser of the GT81, and we're ready to go. Okay, so this unit is a reducer as well as a flattener. So looking at the reduction function first, I've taken a 2-minute subframe of Andromeda, and this is with the basic scope without a flattener. So the scope is operating at f5.9, and this is a typical frame with, if you look closely, you can see some elongation in the corners, but we'll come back to that. And just for reference, there's Messier 110 down at the bottom of the frame, just within the lower extreme of the frame. Now if we take the same field, this time with the flattener, you can see there's an obvious difference. So the scope's down at f4.7 now, and Messier 110 is now clearly inside the field of view, demonstrating that we've captured quite a lot more sky, which is pretty useful for large targets like this. So just as a recap, here we are, the image without the reducer flattener, and then with the reducer. Okay, so for the flattener function, if we look at the original image, we're now looking down in the bottom left hand corner of the frame, and you can see, normally you wouldn't notice unless you zoom in, but you can see that this is the kind of image that we get. It's quite a distorted, extended object rather than a point, and if we compare that with the image with the flattener, it looks like this. Now obviously it's a bit hard to do a direct comparison. I've had to adjust because there's a reduction in magnification, and obviously that means we're not looking in the corner between the same stars, but nonetheless I think going between the before and the after, it's pretty clear that there's a considerable improvement in how spherical the star images appear. And then for the top left corner, this is the before, and this is the after. Top right this time, so here is the basic scope, and this is the result with the flattener. So I guess these, in this corner, the images aren't completely round, but considerably better than with the basic scope. And finally, the bottom right hand corner, this is the basic scope, and this is the result with the flattener inserted. Finally, this is the stacked image taken with the flattener of Messier 31 and 32, and I guess all we're looking to see here is if we scan around the corners of the frame, we get an idea of the result that the flattener can bring to the images. So I'm pretty happy that these stars are nicely round. Certainly I'm not being a perfectionist here. It's not absolutely perfect, but compared to the original result, then a considerable improvement, I'd say. So what's the conclusion? William Optics Field Flattener 6A. Well, for me, it's really done the job. It's worked straight out of the box. I haven't had any trouble with spacer rings, which is what I was expecting, and it's allowed me to get a wider field of view. The scope's now operating at a faster focal ratio, and it's also significantly improved the image quality of the stars around the edge of the field. So I don't need to worry about cropping out the edges of the field if I have something that I happen to capture of interest that's near the edge of the frame. With this accessory, the stars are basically round. Now, I'm not an expert on field flatteners. I can't give you all the numbers for the field curvature, but qualitatively it's made a dramatic improvement. So I'd say that the flattener is a well-made accessory. If you've got a GT81 and you're looking to expand the range of objects and just tweak the field a little bit at the edges, then I'd say it's a great accessory to add to your collection. That's it. Hopefully it's been useful. If you like this video, then please subscribe to the Jennings Astro YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.